Going back to Bordeaux again, baby. All right, welcome back to Drinking It In. I am your host, Chris Cassara, and we are here to help you know more and drink better. And we're going back to Bordeaux because Bordeaux is cool. Remember, we discussed this a little while ago. And I pulled another bottle out of my cellar to, just check in on it. And also just because I wanted to drink some red wine. We've been drinking a lot of white wine lately. And even though it's still hot and humid, I figured it would be kind of cool to taste this Chateau Brown that I had. So this is a 2012 Chateau Brown from the Pessac Leognan region in Bordeaux. So the Pessac Leognan region is towards the southern part of the Bordeaux region, and they make reds and whites, although reds are prevalent. And if you remember back to one of the earlier Bordeaux episodes, the left bank of Bordeaux typically is Cabernet Sauvignon dominant wine, the right bank being Merlot dominant. This one is a left bank wine or a left bank location, and Cabernet is the number one grape in the blend, but not by much. I think if you find as you get down, like from the, if you go south as you go through Bordeaux, the more south you go, the less dominant I find that the grapes become, that the left bank, right bank, Cabernet versus Merlot dominant, the less dominant they become. So case in point here, this Chateau Brown 2012 is 50% Cabernet Sauvignon, 46% Merlot, 4% Petit Verdot. So Cabernet just barely, makes up the majority of the blend. 2012, not a noteworthy vintage. Sometimes, if a vintage doesn't get a lot of hype, you have a good chance to buy really good wines from top producers at lower prices. This happens to be one of these cases, but the reason I have this bottle is because I did a tasting several years back up at one of the wine stores. I think it was in Marty's Fine Wine in Newton, with a couple of the folks from the chateau, and was just amazed. And I was like, okay, well, we're gonna buy this. So I haven't had the wine in a long time. This wine is really, really beautiful color. Purpley, little red on the end. So not too dark. That smells great. Sorry, I had a moment there. So this is a really, really pretty wine on the nose. It almost has a bit of a Napa Cabernet nose to it, like, very dark and brooding in the fruit. But, I think this, while the fruit is definitely going to be black, like blackberry, black cherry, I could see there being a lightness to this on the palate. I'm smelling a bit of vanilla. I'm smelling a bit of the baking spices, almost the nutmeg, cinnamon type of spice. But it's really pretty. Let's see what it tastes like. Almost choked there for a second. Probably shouldn't have spit that out. This is really good. A little tannic, right? So the tannins are there. This is a young wine that still has a long way to go. I probably shouldn't have opened it now that I'm thinking about it. Probably should have kept this quite a bit longer, although I think I have another one downstairs. This is beautiful. So there's a little, it's very vanilla heavy, right? So there's the oak here is definitely impacting the wine, but vanilla is, again, for me, vanilla is delicious, right? It's a black cherry vanilla palate. Still going. I don't know if we get a timer. I probably should I'll put a timer maybe on the bottom to see how long this stays on my palate, because that's one of the things that you get in a good Bordeaux, or a good good Cabernet for that matter. The finish lingers. Still going, really nice. Not, but this is pretty light on the palate. So even though this is a fine French wine, we're in the middle of the Tour de France season and all that, I have it's good that I have a collared shirt on for this wine, because if I just had a t-shirt, I would have felt like I was underdressed for having this wine. But it's not as, it's not stuffy and formal, so I don't feel like I needed a long sleeve button down shirt and a blazer to be enjoying this wine. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Like, this can be a fun wine. This doesn't have to just be a real fine wine for you to have with a with a steak dinner. Interesting, that last inhale I got a little bit of a green pepper note, but subtle. I just didn't notice it the first time around. This is really good. So, I mean, Chateau Brown, right? Really, really good producer. Kind of a plain name, right? It's not something that's going to jump out at you because it's not Chateau Latour, Lafite, and La this, right? It's Chateau Brown. But they make great wines, and they're generally pretty reasonably priced. You'll be seeing more of them on the channel eventually. If you see them on a list, see them in a store, you can buy with confidence. This one's dynamite. I might come back to it tomorrow. I might come back to it on a day 2 and day 3. We'll see. I don't want to make this video too long. We'll cut it here. Thanks for all the love recently. I appreciate every view, every subscriber. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, because we got a lot of good stuff and a lot of good knowledge coming out of this channel. Till next time, cheers.